Okay, guys, we're coming to the end of our bell ringer. Let me make sure that everybody understands what we're looking at today and your instructions for today. Now, I asked this a few minutes ago, but I'm going to ask again, and I want to make sure. And this is for also anybody that's listening to today's lesson on the recorded thing. Is there anybody inside of this class right now who today is their first day inside of my class? I know a lot of people just got their laptops and their hotspots. Is there anybody that this is your first time being inside of my class? If so, please put in the chat that applies to you. Okay. Is there anybody else who has not commented in the chat yet who, for whatever reason, you missed Wednesday and you were not with us when we read the short story, Raymond's Run? Okay, then we're going to move on, and I'm going to assume that everybody's had a chance to do it. Let me stop sharing this real quick. Okay, before we get to going, do me a small favor real quick, if you will. Take off or put your camera on where I can see your smiling faces for about 3 seconds. Thank you, Lori. Come on, more people than Lori. Come on, let me see your smiling faces. Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, DeMarcus. Anybody else? Anybody else gonna show me their smiling face? All right, you can go ahead and turn your camera off if you choose to. If you will, unmute yourself. Tell me hello.
Hi.
Yo.
Hello.
Yo, what
Thanks.
up? How's everybody doing today, guys? It's Friday afternoon. Y'all excited about that?
Yes, sir.
Good deal, good deal. All right, go ahead and mute yourself real quick. All right, guys, here's what we have. Today, you have the quiz on Raymond's Run. Now, I'm going to assume, due to my questions earlier, that everybody has read Raymond's Run. We read it Wednesday. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to review this story with you real quick. I'm going to make sure that we are ready for this quiz. Now, I don't mean to sound cocky or arrogant when I say this. It's just the truth. I don't need to review this for me. I'm pretty sure I know what the story's about. If I'm reviewing this story, it's to help refresh your minds. Okay, it is Friday afternoon. Okay, now when I ask a question, I need responses. I need somebody to type in the chat. If I don't get that, well, I'm going to assume y'all already know it all, and we'll move on to the quiz. Okay, make sense to everybody? Give me a yep inside the chat if you understand. Y'all. Yep. All right. Good deal. All right. Got 3 people anyway. 4. Good deal. All right. Here we go. So who is the main character in Raymond's Run? Who is the main character in Raymond's Run? Squeaky. Very good. Squeaky is a young lady who has an older brother named Raymond. That's where we get the name Raymond's Run from. Her older brother, Raymond, is special needs. He actually has Down syndrome. So she takes care of him. That is her only chore, is to take care of Raymond. Now, Squeaky is really good at something. What is she really good at? All right, good deal, good deal. She's good at running. She wins all of the races that she's ever been in. There's only one person that's actually better at running than what she is. There's only one person that the story talks about that can actually beat her in a race. Who is that one person? Not Gretchen. Not Gretchen. DeMarcus. Gretchen never beat her. Her dad. Very good. Hint, hint. And Haley, not Raymond. It's definitely her dad. Says her dad could beat her with a 2 fire hydrant head start with his hands shoved in his pockets of his PAL shorts. And remember, we talked about we don't know what the PAL shorts are. Anyway, so Squeaky is kind of aggressive. She doesn't like to jank on folks. She doesn't like to be janked on. She says she'd much rather just knock you down and get it over with. And she don't feature a whole lot of chit chat. Okay. Now, she has a main rival. Who is her main rival? Gretchen, very good. Now, Squeaky doesn't like fake people. She likes to be real. She wants you to know that she works hard at running. She doesn't want to fake it like Cynthia Proctor, who is really good at the spelling, being really good at piano because she practices, but she don't want everybody to know that she practices. And that kind of drives Squeaky crazy. Okay, so anyway, I had to admit somebody. So anyway, Squeaky and Raymond are going down the street one day and they run into Gretchen and Gretchen's two friends. Does anybody remember what Gretchen's two friends' names are? Rosie is one of them. Very good. Mary Louise. Mary Louise. Very good. Okay. We're going to get to that in just a second, Marcus. So there are shadows. Now, they have this kind of like little confrontation, right, on the street. And does Gretchen ever actually speak? No, she doesn't. Mary Louise and Rosie do the talking for Gretchen. But Squeaky doesn't actually talk to Mary Louise or Rosie. All she does is talks to Gretchen. In fact, she calls Mary Louise and Rosie, she calls them shadows and ventriloquist dummies. She does that because she doesn't think that they're even worthy of her time. Okay. She doesn't even recognize that they're there because they're beneath her. Okay. So let's fast forward a little bit. The big race is at the May Day parade. Okay. Or the May Day day. Anyway, so Squeaky always gets there late. Why does she get there late? And that's kind of a little bit longer of a question. Why does she get there late? Do y'all remember? Honest answer. I appreciate it. No, she gets there late because she does not want to go there for the dancing around the maypole. She doesn't want to dress up in girly dresses and fancy shoes and fancy dresses and dance around because that's not her. She doesn't do it because it's not her, and she don't want to do anything that's not her. Okay. So anyway, it comes time for the race. While she's running the race, what is Raymond doing? Not necessarily, Lori. He's actually doing something. What is he doing? Doing his own run. Very good. Very good. He's on the outside running in his own style. Very good. It did say very much so his own style. His hands back behind it, like down by his side behind him. Just his own unique style of running. Now, picture this. Think about being like on a track, like over at MGM, you know, out by the football field, you got the track and everything. Think about something like that. That's where they're running. He's on the other side of the fence. In other words, he's not on the racetrack. He's on the other side of the fence, but he's running along with them. And as she's running, she looks over and she sees him, and this kind of makes her change her mind a little bit. First off, let me ask this. Is she embarrassed at all of her brother Raymond? No, she's very protective of him. Okay. Now, while she watches him run, she finds something new. She now is proud of him. She has a lot of pride in what he's doing. In fact, she thinks that he will make a fine runner in her family tradition. Okay. Now, who ends up winning the race? No, Michaela. Squeaky ends up winning the race. Squeaky ends up winning the race. Oh, Laura, you fixing to take this quiz on it, baby. You better remember. Squeaky wins the race. Now, along the way, while they're racing, Squeaky now finds Squeaky and Gretchen kind of Squeaky and Gretchen were running, and as they're running, they kind of find something new for each other. What now do they have for each other that they didn't necessarily have before? Respect. Very good. Very good. In fact, and I forgot one little part to go over this, very important. Back when she was talking with Gretchen and Rosie and Mary Louise, she talked about girls not smiling at each other. Girls don't smile at each other because they don't know how, because nobody's ever showed them how. And that's kind of her talking about people not really being themselves. They're too interested in being fake things. Okay. That smiling is a big deal. Y'all remember that, right? Give me a yup if you remember us talking about the smiling. Good deal. All right. So that's only 3 people. Whew. Hopefully more than that, remember it. So anyway, oh, I done lost all train of thought. Okay, so at the end of the race, her and Gretchen are now smiling at each other. It's a smile of respect because they both know that they both work hard and they're both really good at it. And Squeaky is actually thinking about asking Gretchen to do something, to help her do something. What is she thinking about asking Gretchen to help her do? Very good. Very good. Help Raymond run, to train Raymond. She's thinking about helping her train Raymond to be a runner himself. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much the story. Okay. The story does end with her with Squeaky basically saying, and we smiled at each other. It was a real smile of respect because we weren't busy being fairies or flowers or strawberries. We were doing something real like being people. Remember that. Hint, hint, clue, clue, quiz, quiz. Okay. All right. So here's what's fixing to happen. Okay. In just a second, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to enable your quiz. Now, your quiz is 10 questions long. Guys, this is a real deal quiz. This is going to go a long way for your grade for first quarter. So it is like a legit quiz. Make sure you understand that, okay? You've got one shot at it. You only get to take it once. Now, it is not timed, okay? So don't get in a rush. If you don't know the answer, it's okay to look it up. In fact, there's one question on there. You're pretty much going to have to go back to the story and look it up. So here's what I'm going to suggest that you do. I'm going to suggest that you open up 2 tabs on your computer. One to have the quiz assessment pulled up. The other to actually have the story pulled up. Does everybody know how to do 2 different tabs? Okay, I've got 1 yes, sir, and that's the only answer I've got. So I'm going to assume that you know how to pull up 2 tabs. I suggest that you pull up 2 tabs, okay? Now, it is 12:37. I'm going to give you 30 minutes to take this quiz before I get back on here and we move on with class. If you are not finished with this quiz in 30 minutes, please, please, please continue taking the quiz. That is your number 1 priority today, okay? When you finish with the quiz, and most of you that's read the story, it's not going to take you 30 minutes. Just wait patiently for us to move on to the next one. We'll make sure that everybody has a chance to finish it without being interrupted. 30 minutes should be plenty of time. But again, if it's not, you're good, okay? Kaylee, how do I have you in here 4 different times? Michaela, I want you to go back and read the story first. Me going over the story quickly is not a good replacement for actually reading it, okay? Okay, if you've read it, then yeah, you're ready to take the quiz. Okay? All right. So I'm going to take my camera off. I am going to mute myself here in just a second. Give me about 5 seconds, 10 seconds. That's what it'll take me to actually enable the quiz and then get started. Now, before I do that, thank you, Jose. Before I do that, let me give you one other piece of advice, okay? If you have a question about this quiz, I will help you out shy of giving you the answer. I'm not giving you any answers, but I will help you if something doesn't make sense. However, do not put a question about the quiz in the chat for everybody. Put that question directly to me. Down there at the bottom where you see it says to everyone, you can change that to where it's a direct message to me. Okay? Michaela, I'll walk you through that process in just a second, okay? If you start asking questions about the quiz in front of everybody and start giving answers away, I'm going to boot you out of this WebEx, and I definitely don't want to do that. Okay. So make sure that if you have a question, you ask just me. Okay. No problem, Michaela. All right. So guys, let's see. Courses, Langston Hughes, first quarter, week 2, Friday, Raymond's Run quiz, edit, and enable. Okay. The quiz is now enabled. 12:39 at 1:10, guys. I come back on and we move on with the rest of class. Okay. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll take care of anything that I can. Go ahead and get started now, please. Might help if I turn my microphone on, guys. I apologize. It looks like everybody or most people that are taking the quiz have finished the quiz. Now, if you're one of those people that have not finished, finish your quiz. If that means you need to turn my volume down until you finish, that's fine. Okay. Your priority right now is finishing that quiz. Don't rush through it. Take your time. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see, we're going to get back into today. We're going to read the crooked election. Okay. Okay. Waiting for it to come up. Crooked election. Kyria Abrahams. Kelly is running for class president of Wright High School. Some of Kelly's classmates think elections are pointless. Kelly's best friend Maya doesn't believe in voting at all. I'm not voting, Maya tells her. Voting is pointless. But if you don't vote, someone else will, and then they'll get what they want, and you won't get what you want, Kelly says. I don't want anything. I just want to be left alone, Maya responds. Kelly is running for class president because she thinks the school can be better. She wants to see less meat served in the cafeteria and more vegetarian options. She also wants the school to stop bringing a live goat onto the field during football games. Now, why does Kelly want to run for class president? Why does she want to run for class president?
To make the school better.
Make the school better. Remember that, okay? Kelly has good ideas, but won't be able to change anything, Maya tells her classmates. She's just idealistic. No one can change things. What do you think idealistic means? What do you think idealistic? She's just idealistic. No one can change anything. Use your context clues. She has good ideas, but she won't be able to change anything. She's idealistic, but can't change anything. All good guesses, guys. All good guesses. Idealistic means that she wants it to be better. She plans on doing something about the bad things. Okay. I can sit here and say bullying is bad. We should change that. Realistically, can we do away with all bullying? But it's idealistic to want to. Okay. It's idealistic to want to do away with all bullying. It's realistic to say you probably can't do away with all of it, but we can change some things for the better. Okay. All right. Anyway, here we go. Kelly's opponent, Roger, is running for class president of Wright High School because his brother was president last year. In fact, Roger has 3 brothers, and all 3 of them have been class president. I'm not losing to anybody, Roger tells his brothers, especially not a girl. Roger has really nice banners professionally printed and hangs them around the school. Roger's banners say, Roger Whitaker, the right man for the right job. The phrase right man is a reference to the fact that Kelly is a girl. Roger says that girls can't be president because they cry too much. He only says this secretly to his brothers. He would never admit this opinion to his classmates. Do you think that Roger's a nice guy? No, question mark. Okay. All right, good. I'm starting to see a little bit of joining in. All Kelly cares about is that we have tofu in the cafeteria, Roger tells his classmates, but I want to fix the broken doors in the bathroom. Roger holds up a screwdriver as he says this and makes a grunting man sound. The election banners were given to him as a gift by the Harrison kids. Their dad owns Harrison Sign Manufacturers and made the signs for free. Just make sure that when you get elected, and we are confident that you will, you tell the school that they need new signs. They shake hands and give him the free signs, which suddenly don't seem so free. Roger looks around the school and sees they do in fact need new signs. The exit sign above the main door is cracked. The sign above the library just says library. The menu next to the school cafeteria is so old it says you could get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for 50 cents. So maybe it is a bit unfair to take something from a student who's going to vote for you. But Roger figures they have a good point about the signs. Meanwhile, Kelly has been running around the school putting up signs of her own. They are all handmade from construction paper with fresh flowers on them. They say, make the school beautiful. Vote healthy for Kelly. Maya tells Kelly they look nice, but she doesn't think they'll do anything. It's just lipstick on a pig, she says. Just because you make it look nice doesn't mean it's not still a pig. What does lipstick on a pig mean? What does lipstick on a pig mean? Somebody come on, help me out. Honest answer, Lori, thank you. Somebody's at least paying attention. Any of y'all ever been around pigs? Pigs are nasty, nasty creatures. They smell really bad. They play in the mud. They're dirty. They're nasty. They stink. You've seen pigs? Okay. If you put lipstick on a pig, the only purpose for lipstick is to make something pretty. Okay. The phrase putting lipstick on a pig means that you're trying to make it pretty, but at the root, it's still just a pig. Okay. Kelly's handsome signs make Roger nervous because they seem more honest and down to earth. Although his signs are really nice and professional, it's also obvious they cost money. Roger feels like the students don't relate to him. He wants the other students to think he's just like them, so he organizes a barbecue during school lunch hours with free hot dogs. Actually, it's the Harrison brothers' idea. They even get him a deal on the hot dogs from their cousin's supermarket, of course. A few kids come by, but Roger also notices that a good amount of students stay in the cafeteria, eating food they brought from home. He can't figure out why someone would want to eat a stale sandwich when he's offering free hot dogs. The hot dog giveaway is definitely a flop. Roger goes home dejected and sad. The next day, the school holds a debate between the two candidates. The debate is moderated by their civics teacher, Miss Graham. Roger and Kelly sit on stage opposite each other. The auditorium is filled with students, all of whom will have the opportunity to vote. All of the students are watching with great interest as this is how they will make their decision. One wrong answer today and it could mean losing the presidency. Miss Graham asks the first question. As class president, how would you see fit to spend the school's extra money? Kelly answers first. Well, I certainly wouldn't be spending our money on expensive signs and hot dogs, she says. The audience gasps. This is a low blow. It's surprising that Kelly would say something like that. Roger looks into the audience and sees the Harrison brothers sinking down into their seats. Kelly continues. I would like our school to be healthier, and I know we have many students who are vegetarian. They don't have many options for lunch, and if they forget to bring lunch from home, sometimes they don't eat lunch at all. At this, at least 50 students stand up and applaud. Even Maya stands and applauds, although she rolls her eyes a little too. The other students join in the cheering. Of course, a few students start booing just to be jerks. Eat more bacon, says one, cupping his hands around his mouth so the sound will carry. Eat a vegetarian, says another, laughing and throwing pieces of paper. Okay, everyone, that's enough, the moderator says from stage. The students who are booing the vegetarians just look like troublemakers now. Roger looks into the audience. He finally realizes how many students are vegetarian. He has never thought to find out before. What about you, Roger? What will you spend money on? Well, I would like to have a few new signs for the cafeteria, he says, and that could certainly include our vegetarian options that the school may end up providing. Oh, please. Without me to push for it, the school will never change its menu, Kelly says. Roger offers empty promises, and he thinks he is better than me because I'm a girl. The students start to applaud, and Roger watches the Harrison brothers sneak out the back door. When the debate is over, Roger can tell that he lost. His failure is palpable. He can feel it. Students clamor around Kelly in a group, hugging her and telling her how they can't wait for the new lunch menu. What does palpable mean? Does anybody know what palpable means? Palpable is kind of a feeling. It's something that you can't ignore. Okay. Think about this. You ever seen two kids in class that they don't get along and like at any minute they could break out into a fight? You know how it kind of feels real tense when you're around them and you can't help but feel how tense it is? That's palpable. Okay. Palpable is a feeling. Okay. Only a few people come up to Roger. I liked your nice sign, says Peggy, pushing her glasses up on her nose and squinting. Thanks, said Roger. Can I count on your vote next week on election day? Oh, that, Peggy says. Well, actually, I'm voting for Kelly. I just wanted to be nice to you. After school, the Harrison brothers are waiting outside to talk to Roger. He notices they are carrying some of Kelly's signs. We're going to have to withdraw our support, Boyd Harrison tells him. We just don't think you look like the winning candidate, Trent Harrison says, and we really need to get behind someone who can help bring our dad more business. What are you talking about? Roger says angrily. I was your guy. You supported me. I thought we were friends. Yeah, friends. Well, about that, you see, it's just that Kelly will bring in a lot more business for our dad's company, says Trent. Boyd nods in approval. It's nothing personal. You're a nice dude and all, but Kelly has a little more spirit. Kelly? Oh, please. Roger is yelling now. Her signs are all handmade. Didn't you see them? It's just hipster junk. Oh, yeah. You noticed that. We went for a more indie feel with these, Trent says. Try to make them look handmade, Boyd interjects. The hipsters love that. We're glad you noticed. Kelly is coming out of the school now, and the Harrison brothers walk away from Roger without saying a word. Each brother puts an arm around Kelly. Here's our best girl, they ask. Kelly smiles. Doing just great now, she says, now that Roger looks like a woman-hating, eating loser. We've got this election in the bag, Boyd says. A vegetarian bag, that is. Trent holds up a bag of veggie burgers. We've been eating these at lunch, showing all those health-conscious kids that we're one of them. Well, you sure do look trustworthy now, don't you? Kelly says, laughing. But do you have any real food? I'm so sick of this vegetarian junk. My stomach is killing me. So y'all see the irony here, right? The surprise ending? You bet we do, says Boyd. In fact, we have a whole bunch of hot dogs left over from Roger's barbecue yesterday. Let's go to our house and have dinner. By the way, Kelly says, how do you convince people not to go get delicious free hot dogs? I think he could have really turned people into his side with that. It was easy, Boyd said. We started a rumor that Roger left the hot dogs out in his car overnight. Nobody wanted to get sick. He was so depressed he just left everything sitting there. We grabbed all the leftovers and took them back home. That's brilliant, Kelly says. I can't thank you enough. Well, you won't have to thank us once you're elected. Just make sure the school uses our dad's business. And oh yeah, when the cafeteria goes vegetarian, you know which veggie burgers are the best choice. Boyd dangles a bag in front of her, and for the first time, she reads the label, Harrison's Burgers. Victory has never tasted so sweet, Kelly says. And that's the story. So now, your assignment is going back into the assessment inside of Crooked Election and answer those questions. Most of them are multiple choice. There are 3 at the end that are fill in the blank, short answers. I suggest that you take out a scratch sheet of paper, go ahead and answer those 3 short answer questions on your scratch sheet of paper. That way, once you get to the assessment, you can go ahead and put your answers in without having to go back to the text. All right, once you finish with this part of the assignment, you are done for the day. Should take you probably 15, 20 minutes to do that. At that point in time, you'll be done for the day, done for the week. Have a great weekend. If you need me, I'm sitting right here. Just let me know and I'll help you any way that I can. But this is a pretty straightforward assignment, so I don't think you'll have any issues with it. But go ahead and get that done. If you have not finished a quiz for Raymond's Run, that takes priority. Make sure you do that first. Go ahead and give me about 10 seconds. I'll have it enabled and you'll be able to go ahead and do it. Okay.